You're a teacher. Yes, okay. Fitness-wise, what do you do? A runner. So you run up to Pikes Peak and stuff, huh? Yeah, you would lose. You wouldn't lose my vote, but a lot of like black women, you would lose their votes because they really don't believe in cardio. Like we don't. Some of us don't believe in cardio. Like if we was running because we heard somebody getting shot, then yeah, we would run there. But then just running casually, freely, not so much. Not so much. These Kardashians got you women confused because you want to look like Chloe and all that. Forget that. Maria, Keisha, Brittany, whoever's in here, if you got a little pouch, embrace that pouch. If your man don't want to lift up and get all up in that, that's his fault, not yours, okay? You heard it first here. And you're welcome. It's bad because women, we hard on ourselves. You know, we are our worst critics. I don't like the way that my arms wiggle and you shake this, and then I don't like the way that this skin meet, and then you flick that. Embrace all of that. Embrace all of that. There's gonna be a man that wants some of that arm meat. You just work him off. He might want that. He might want that turkey neck and gobble gobble. You might do well by him. That's all I'm saying. I feel like I got a bad camel toe. I'm sorry, don't. Women, like we're taught to be gracious. You know, sometimes like men, you could flick your balls and dudes be like, yeah. Women, if we do that, we look like we got a bad yeast infection or like we didn't wash our private in days. Like we could be walking like, what's up, girl? We can't do that. But men, y'all could adjust and roll and go. Women, we can't, not so much. I'm just saying. If you see me doing this, it's just me adjusting that out. Like, trying to be gracious by it, that's all. Yeah, let's see. If there's not anything else going on. You guys ready for your first comic? Okay. Wait, let me get something straight, okay? These comics that's coming up here, you don't know what they've been through, okay? Some of them probably robbed somebody, probably just got out of jail. And if you don't give them the welcome that's wanted, you're going to push them back to that lifestyle. Somebody roll up on you, should have laughed, and at gunpoint, then you be like, oh, you should have laughed. Well, have you ever looked at somebody's lips and it made you put your own chapstick on? I was just wondering. All right, without further ado, you guys ready for your first comic? Okay, yeah, that's better. That is better. That is better. I'm gonna get with you after the show. Don't you worry. You going, me and you. Okay. This next gentleman that's coming to the stage, he is from Denver and he travels all over. I want you guys to start making some crazy, crazy, crazy noise for Mr. Jeff Cohen.
Thanks, Shanae. I have to admit, Shanae, I just robbed your car earlier, so, you know. All right, well, a little bit about me. I'm a self-employed artist. Nothing for that? Okay. All right, I had one clap. Yeah, and that kind of throws people because I don't really look the part, you know? Like, people don't walk up to me and say, hey, you look like an artist, paint me a painting. They say to me, hey, you look like Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys. Thank you. Totally rock that look, yeah. So I hate the term starving artist. It doesn't really suit me. I prefer want to get filthy rich artist. And you know, people are like, this friend of mine said, man, you're so greedy, you know, like, why do you need all that money? No one needs all that money. It's not because I'm greedy, I'm lazy. You know, I plan to get so wealthy off my art that I never have to wake up before noon again. That's, so I'm really relaxed tonight. Just had a bidet installed. Magic. It's like getting a massage for your soul. It's awesome. Like, how does it know to do that? Like, it hits the stain and my heart. 3 good flushes, and I'm volunteering at the soup kitchen. Yeah. So what else? I have a girlfriend. Thanks, honey. Yeah. And it's at that stage of the relationship where I'm so excited I will tell anybody about her. Like my neighbor's like, hey, nice weather we're having. I'm like, yes, my girlfriend does love me. Thanks for asking. Yeah. But she told me recently that she used to work for the NSA. Yeah. That makes me reconsider the whole idea of kinky sex. You know, because sure, I could tie her up, but she could waterboard me. You know. You think my sister's better looking, don't you? Okay, that act out was not necessary. Didn't help a bit, you know. But I gotta say, she's a lot better than my last girlfriend. That girl and I had nothing in common. Like kissing, for example. Like, I learned how to kiss watching the movie Top Gun. Apparently, she learned how watching the movie Alien. Yeah. All teeth. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Ouch. Needless to say, I did not stick around for the end of that movie. Yeah. So, people tell me I'm sweet all the time. Mostly women people. And yeah, they call it sweet. I call it the flip side of my rage. Because they don't see me as I'm flying down I-70 flipping off school buses. And they never will. But I hate that being sweet is considered a sign of weakness. I mean, really, is it weak for a man to hold a baby? To deflect a snowball? I don't know, I guess. But then, you know, I remember girls in high school, they would always sign my yearbook, "Stay sweet, don't ever change." Yeah, I think what they really meant was stay away. Yeah, we've all been there, right, sir? Sorry to single you out. I'm taking all the heat up here, you know. So the other day I was watching this televangelist, and he actually said that masturbation is self-abuse. Not the way I do it. I'm very supportive. But then he went on to say that God designed women to be a home for a man's penis. Yeah. I keep getting evicted from my homes. Yeah, and then meanwhile, Tiger Woods has mansions all over the country. But then I saw an ad for ChristianMingle.com. You guys seen that one? Yeah, that's a weird concept, you know. Their whole idea is that you let God choose who's best for you. That makes me a little nervous, actually, mostly because I don't trust him to choose someone hot. And I worry that maybe God's not an ass man. Yes, I'm going to hell for that joke. It's either that joke or the time I masturbated at my neighbor's house when I was supposed to be dog sitting. But I gotta say, I mean, I'm glad to be in a relationship now because I was trying to find someone online. That's a bitch, you know. Like, I stumbled onto this site called FilipinoBrides.com. Yeah. I clicked around, and I realized it's just way too much commitment. Because you got to raise them until they can graduate high school. And let's face it, I'm not Woody Allen. All right, you guys, that will do it for me. You've been great. Shanae, ladies and gentlemen.
I shook his hand after he said he be masturbating and stuff. I don't know if I want that on me. Give it up one more time for Mr. Jeff Cohen. Are you on Facebook, Jeff? Yeah, feel free to seek him out. Single lady, I mean not single ladies, because he is taken by this wonderful lady here. And she does look like she will go on Snapped. So, Jeff Cohen on Facebook. Are you guys ready for your next comedian? Y'all can do, come on. Thank you, husband. Thank you, baby. All right. Next gentleman coming to the stage, his name is also Jeff. You ready, Jeff? I like the mustache. Yeah, that's delicious, yeah. I'm not cheating on you, don't get sensitive. All right, you ready? All right, y'all start making some noise for Mr. Jeff. Hey!
Give it up for our host, everybody. Shanae, keep it going for her. Thank you, Ari's Tavern. I love this room. I haven't been here in a while, so it's really good to be back. And I'm really, really good to be back tonight because my wife and I got some unbelievable news this week, everybody. We found out that we are not pregnant with our first child. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, the streak continues. Whew! I'm 41 years old and I've never had children. So I'm still a child, essentially, is what I'm saying there. But yeah, I'm excited. We're not having kids yet, so I get to keep this crazy lifestyle that I have. Can be here with you folks without having to pay for child support, or not child support, maybe child support or babysitters. I don't know which one. But my wife still told me she does want to start a family, so I'm not off scot-free. I'm still under a lot of pressure, and it is a lot of pressure under a guy my age. Like I said, I'm 41. I don't know about any of you guys out here, but if you've ever had to maintain an erection while a thermometer and a stopwatch are involved, that's tricky. Especially when she's just watching an episode of Orange is the New Black and wearing a pair of my gray sweatpants. I'm just like, I need some motivation. She's like, no, asshole. Time is of the essence. I'm like, okay. Duty calls, everybody. He's like, is this guy up here complaining about getting laid? I don't believe that. But no, my wife and I were actually at a party the other day, and we were talking to a couple we'd never met before, and they asked us how many kids we had. We said we didn't have any. And she said, oh, you guys are dinks. I know. I was like, well, that's just racist. We're not even Chinese. I don't know why you would say that. So she said, no, silly. Dink means dual income, no kids. I was like, oh, you mean lucky. Yes, I am. And I'm kind of a bad speller, so I thought she meant dual income, no credit. And I was like, because either way you spell it, we fall into that category. She said, you do seem nervous about this. She goes, I'm going to give you one piece of advice. If you're going to start a family, just make sure you're in a decent financial situation. Just not, you have to be rich. Just make sure you're okay. And I was like, well, if you consider still owing $40,000 for a 6-year general studies degree, I know, that I got at a Playboy top 5 party college in 1998, financially stable, then let's do this. Went to give my wife a high five. She did not give it back. So that was a little awkward, I know. But no, she does want to start a family, and it's a lot of pressure, like I said. I do have this kind of, like I call my saving grace in starting a family situation I'm in with my wife. My beautiful wife is of both Mexican and Native American heritage, everybody. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. Yeah. What that means for me, though, is that she wants to have a really, really big family, but she's usually way too drunk to do anything about it. I know. I get off literally and figuratively quite a bit in my house. And I don't want you guys to worry. It's not a lot of drama. Whenever we find out that we're not pregnant, she only sheds one single tear. So, I know. That's her favorite joke, if you can believe that, everybody. So I just have the makeup joke for that one is my wife, she takes care of me. She supports me in comedy. I had a show at Comedy Works. I'm a new comedian, so when you get a show there, it's like you get so excited. And I woke up with a bit of the sniffles. I was like, oh my God, I have a cold. And she handed me a packet of Emergen-C. Are you guys familiar with this product, Emergen-C? I'm a kind of a typical guy. I like to do recreational drugs. I really don't do medicinal drugs. Well, I do medicinal drugs recreationally, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to get into that here. But no, she gave me this packet of Emergency, and I put it in my bag, and I got to work, and I opened it up, and it was just a packet of white powder. So I just laid a rail out on my desk. I was getting ready to do it, and thankfully my assistant, she ran up, and she was like, "No, asshole, you don't snort it, you drink it." I was like, "Oh, God, thank God." And I just scooped the Emergency into my Mountain Dew. And you guys, I've never done it before, but now I know what methamphetamines must feel like. Emergency and Mountain Dew. It was insane. 5 minutes into it, I had sores on my arm that had never been there before. I was like, well, that's kind of strange. 10 minutes into Emergency, my favorite tooth became loose. I was just like, corn on the cob! That's what we were going to have for dinner that night. I was like, well, you need your good eating teeth for that, so there goes that. And this is the worst part. Take heed, everyone. This is the worst part about it. I had this overwhelming urge, like 20 minutes after drinking this, to go to my grandmother's house and just like kick her door in and shove her to the ground and steal her VCR like they do in those awful commercials you see. And every time I get outside and I'm like, why am I doing this? VCRs aren't worth shit. I'm not going to get anything for this. A lot of you have grandparents left in this room, I see. But no, I do. I go back in, I take the VCR back, I hook it up, and now you're wondering, like, God, I hope he at least helps her off the ground. And I don't, because I bought my grandmother the Life Alert for Christmas the year before. I was like, Nana, I'm never going to get my Monday's worth out of it if I keep having to help you up off the ground. She's like, that's my boy. I was like, I knew this was a test. I don't know, you guys. I'm gonna cut my time a little short because we got a lot of comedians, and I'm kind of a late addition to the show. But I will leave you with this. Everybody, I have a lot of friends that have been talking about moving out here because about recreational marijuana. They want to go to the stores, and this is what I tell them. I'm like, no, I'm pretty old school. I liked it when it was illegal and it was like you were doing something thrilling, when you had a joint. Like every time I'd have a joint when I was in like high school, my piece of shit Honda was actually this bitchin' Camaro, and it was just like Breaking the Law by Judas Priest was just always on the radio. It was like, yes. And now it's just not as fun anymore. So I still like to support the black market, everybody. And I don't really mean the whole black market. It's just I know this black guy down off Market Street that has the greatest prices. And I was like, that cable bill is not going to pay itself. So I got to keep going down there, supporting the black market. You guys have been great. Let's keep it going for all your comedians tonight. I got to give it up for Eugene for having me, and give it up for Shanae. Here she is, as our host. Thank you, Shanae.
Give it up for Mr. Jeff Albright. Mr. Dink. All right. You okay? You need a Band-Aid on your knee? I was about to run up out of here. I didn't know what he's about to do. All right. Make sure you guys find Mr. Jeff Albright on Facebook. Are you guys ready for your next female? Y'all can do better than that. Y'all give it up for my sister, Miss Kara Plissner.
Hi. Thank you guys for coming out, or not, for those of you who are watching at home. If you are my mom, stop watching now. I go to school downtown, and whenever something bad happens on campus, they'll send you what they call a timely alert. So you can plan around it, I guess. And these are all real crimes, and should be taken seriously. But it's kind of hard, because the one that I get the most frequently is for what Campus PD likes to call forceful fondling, which I'm not going to say isn't a horrible violation of someone's rights and personal space. It's just that the forceful fondler sounds like someone you caught on Scooby-Doo. You're going to get him in a Happy Meal with Ronald McDonald's. But what do you do if you meet the forceful fondler? You blow a rape whistle, which is really the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard. 'Cause you want to empower a woman, you teach her Muay Thai or have her carry bear spray in her snatch. But you don't give her a whistle, because if that were effective, we would have other instruments attached to other heinous crimes. Like, look out, he's got a gun! I'd better blow my murder trumpet! Burp, burp. It just doesn't really make sense. You're gonna learn how bad I am at transitions. I eat at Subway because I like to eat fresh, which is not the same as eating healthy. Subway is fresh like new car smell is fresh. And really eating at Subway is about as healthy as eating a picture of a sandwich. As long as that picture was drawn by a real sad person. Because there are two people that work at any Subway. One is a 16-year-old girl with like the exact makeup to piercing ratio that lets you know she's not going to get it together. Not going to happen for her. And then the other is a dude who's like in his 40s, and he just looks like everyone he's talked to today has served him a subpoena. And then nobody who like eats in Subway looks healthy either. It's not your CrossFit quinoa crowd. It's just a bunch of people who look like you pulled their body out of a swamp and slapped a couple of tattoos on for color. And then, like, if you read a review for Subway, they always say stuff like, they talk shit about the staff. They're like, you know, they just look so disinterested. Staff was so unfriendly. I'm like, really? You want the staff at Subway to be interested? You think that was plan A for them? That's not plan anything for anybody. That's plan I drink to feel less alone at night because that liberal arts degree wasn't really the ticket to tomorrow I was hoping for. And I know that firsthand, by the way, because I work at a sandwich shop, or delicatessen if you're into letters. And people say dumb shit to me all the time, and it's really heartbreaking. Like this one dude's just like, can I have one of those floating cucumbers? I'm like, you mean a pickle? And it's like to the point where I'm like, where is your helper? Where is that nice lady in a blue vest who makes sure you don't touch anything electrical? Worse than anyone who says anything dumb are people who try to get cute with me. So there was this one guy, we were slow, he walks in, he's just like, oh, are you working hard or hardly working? Like, I don't know. Are you really depressing or depressingly real? Please tell me there's more to my life than this. I'm kind of a depressing person that way. I don't like it when people tell me I have potential because I'm 25. And it means a lot less at 25 than it does at 15. Right now, I have the upward mobility of a plane that's disappeared. Like, people will try to say things to cheer you up. They're like, you know, every 7 years, every cell in your body is replaced, so you're a whole new person. It's like, yeah, a fatter, older, more wrinkled version that can't bend as well of yourself. Looks great, future. Thanks. I don't really like to talk shit about religion. I do all the time, but really, like if you have something that makes you feel better and you find comfort in, that's awesome. That's fine. And I get really tired. I have a lot of friends who are atheists, and they always say it's just like, well, I just think it's inconceivable. I don't understand how an otherwise rational human being could believe in, you know, resurrection and talking snakes. I'm like, really? You have no idea. So let me tell you something. I'm an otherwise rational person, and if I go into a public restroom with an automatic toilet, it goes off before I'm done, there's a decent 7 seconds where I'm absolutely certain an alien eel monster is gonna rocket up my poop chute and eat my brain. It took years despite knowing, understanding that logically men just grow beards. They do not stand in front of the bathroom mirror and just go, "Hurr!" while the fur comes out of their face. Like, I thought that's why you were all so jealous of each other's beards, because you were just flexing. It's like, his face is swole! Otherwise, totally rational. But we all have dumb thoughts. I had a boyfriend, we were going somewhere, and before we left, I'm like, I gotta go take a dump, because I'm a lady. And he goes, oh, that's gross. Girls only poop rainbows and sunshine. And I'm like, how did you know it's 8 different colors and burns like fire? But you're not really supposed to say that if you're a girl because it's unattractive. That's a weird social convention that we have, that it's unattractive for a girl to talk about poop. And we do a lot of weird things in our culture to seem more attractive to other people. I knew a girl who vajazzled, which doesn't totally make sense to me, because why do you want to advertise that your lady cave is so deep you can mine it for diamonds. And it goes both ways. Like, for men, it's very attractive to be seen as romantic. But romantic is just creepy's better-looking roommates. Because all romance is just how well you can make a girl cry without hitting her. You use your words for those tears. I loved you from the first day I saw you, and I've never stopped. But it's in our music and our movies. It's just part of our culture. Like, there was that song by Bruno Mars, the grenade song. You know, he'd catch a grenade for you. He'd put his hand on a blade for you. He'd just LARP Call of Duty for you all around. You know, like, it's a weird thing. Like, why? Like, any girl who wants you to blow yourself up is just a sociopath. That's not good that's not wife material. That's just a sociopath. Like, for me, you know, you had me at steady day job, man. You don't have to die. Fuck that. But I understand it's very hard to do romantic gestures, and I think it's very hard for guys to ask girls out. I get that. But it's super weird for us. For example, I had a guy message me on Facebook. So I did the friend request accept thing. So that's cool. And right after I did, he goes, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, "Oh, all right, I'll wait." "Good, how are you?" "Good. Do you have a boyfriend?" I didn't answer because I didn't want to. He was like, "Do you have a job?" I'm like, "So where are we going with this, buddy? Because this feels a lot like you're trying to figure out how long it's going to take people to figure out I'm missing." Either that, or you're trying to figure out what the least offensive, lowest number for a blowjob you can offer me is. Either way, I'm not going to answer that. Another fun one was I was walking home from a bar, and this guy is peeing in an alleyway. 'Cause it's 2 a.m, fuck it, why not? But he looks over at me, and he goes, "Hey, you're beautiful. You should smile more. I bet you're beautiful when you smile." I'm like, "What did you think the best case scenario for what you're doing right now is? Like, I'm just going to be so enamored by your charm and your clear endowment that this is the story we're going to tell our kids?" Other than that, though, like, I mean, I've thought about it. It could have been so much worse, because he could have just been jacking off in the alleyway, staring at a peeling mural, hands still on his cock, still stiff as the Pope's hat. And then he looks over at me, still masturbating, and this is the shot he's got to talk to a girl. Looks over, sees me, goes, "Hey, you should smile more," and then a yogurt explosion erupts from the tip of his penis like a freshly popped bottle of champagne. And if I'd have been there 10 seconds sooner, my future kids would have had an older brother. Thank you, guys. Shanae, get back up here.
Give it up for my sister, Miss Kara Plissner. That's my boo. That is my boo. We got the same dad, but different moms. But feel free to reach out to her on Facebook. Are you guys liking what you guys are hearing so far? Good. Please do me a favor. Keep your bar talk to a minimum. The comics is up here trying to entertain you. Also, make sure you guys take care of your wait staff. They working hard for you. They do got families to feed. Otherwise, we're going to have to start stripping in here, and I know some people don't want to see some bodies, all right? All right. You guys ready for your next comedian? Okay, there we go. This next gentleman coming to the stage goes by the name, or that's his actual name, is Mr. Jose McCall.
All right. I don't know if I'll ever own a home with the way my life is going. But I think I can kidnap someone who does. And being a homeowner, is a nice second place. I'm married to a small, skinny Vietnamese lady, and I'm tired of looking like I'm abducting my wife. Like, I know what I look like. I got to do something with this. It's the grocery store. It's just a constant, just like, watch out, miss. Like, no, it's cool. We're here. We're buying soup together, man. Take it easy. Somebody thought I was homeless one time, and I was harassing her just because I got the look. But, like, I'm a little big to be homeless, I think, you know? Like, that had to throw him for a loop. It had to be like, how's that homeless guy so big? What, is he eating the other homeless? Like, what is up with this guy? You know, but like, I got to do something with this. I was like, all right, I'm gonna work out. What's cheap? Sit-ups. I'm gonna try sit-ups. They're free. And I tried them, and my body rebelled. My stomach was like, dude, I don't know who you think you are. You have half a pizza in me right now. That's the leftovers from 2 pizzas. You ate a pizza and a half the last time you ate. What are you doing, Jose? Not fit to be fit. Jose, you're not really cut out for this, man. You thought diabetes was a Greek hero of some kind. You thought he was like Archimedes. Just a Greek guy stabbing fat people everywhere. You're not cut out for this. So working out didn't work out. I think it must be really hard to play Wheel of Fortune in Japan. Yeah, I'd like to buy a line, and another line, and a squiggly line, and a line like this. No longer. Yeah, I'd like to solve. Man. Someone told me that I had a widow's peak recently. Oh, your hair. Which is an odd thing to tell somebody, right? Like, hey, man, you got hair like your spouse is dead. All right, thanks. Like, how far do you take that concept, right? Like, oh, hey, man, you got a widow's peak. It looks good with your hepatitis nose and your orphan ears. Your pink eye doesn't support breast cancer. You have a very misfortunate look, man. You got to get checked out. Your widow's peak. I had a person move into me recently, or move next to me, not into me. That would be pretty difficult to do. But I had somebody move in next to me, former coworker, and he was like, hey, man, I'm right next to you now. I'm just a stone's throw away from you. And that got me thinking, like, a stone's throw is a terrible way to tell distance. Right? Like, how did they come up with that? Just 2 guys back in the day, like, hey, man, how far do you think Billy is over there by that tree? I don't know. Let's throw stones at him. Start using that as a standard of measurement. What were the other options back then, you know? Hey, man, you think I can hit Billy in the ear with an arrow? Yeah, he's definitely within earshot. Undoubtedly. And, like, what didn't make it, you know? Just like, hey, man, you think this lady's close enough to stab? She's stabbingly close? Yeah, I've been thinking about it. We should stop hurting people for proximity purposes. You know, like, what if we drop the knife and see if she's within arm's reach? How about we do that? Yeah, but we're still keeping throwing rocks at people and stuff, right? Yeah, no, undoubtedly, rock throwing is in till they invent the ruler. Then a nun can hit a kid with it. It's the history of violence we have. Man. My wife recently told me that I might have sleep apnea. She's like, there's something wrong with you when you sleep, man. There's something wrong. And I was like, what? You can't mess up sleeping. You just lay there. She's like, no, there's something wrong. You got to get checked out. You got sleep apnea. And so I went and I looked up sleep apnea. I went and I checked it out, and it's like a disease where you stop breathing while you're sleeping. And you die for moments at a time while you sleep. And I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like the best sleep you could possibly get. That sounds like the most peaceful, like, yeah, I'm totally sweet death sleep. I get to get up and go to work. Like, maybe I've got other diseases pegged wrong, you know? Like, man, is it restless leg syndrome or amazing dancer's disease? I don't know. It's hard to think. I was reading the papers recently, and I was bumming myself out because I was just reading about gay marriage and homosexuals getting married and all that. And like, I think they should. Like, whatever, man. Let them chase happiness. They're people. That's my opinion. And this had an opposing viewpoint, and I'm cool with opposing viewpoints. I'm perfectly fine. That might not be cool with some people. But I have a problem with bad logic. And the reasoning in the article was that if we let gay people get married, that's going to lead to bestiality and people marrying animals. And that doesn't make sense to me, right? Like, in that guy's mind, there's people out there having sex with animals who also believe in commitment and abstinence. Doesn't make any sense to me, right? In that guy's mind, there's people out there who are like, oh, that's a sexy horse. I would like to do inappropriate stuff with that horse, but not out of wedlock. No, I got to put a ring on that hoof. Then me and that horse can start our lives together and have some centaurs. It doesn't make any sense, okay? When I got married, you got to give the people your name. If you want to stop bestiality, this is how you do it, okay? The guy comes in, you go, all right, what's your name? All right, Bill Johnson. All right, who are you marrying? Arrest that guy. That's how simple it is. There's nothing more to the process. It's not sneaking by. Good grief. I read a lot. I was reading another article that said that I was saying that juvenile obesity is so bad in this country that if we were to start a military wartime draft right now in this country during war, 70% of our nation's young people would be disqualified because of how fat they are. So finally, overeating can save your life. Getting shot is instantaneous. Do you know how long it takes to clog an artery? No, seriously, I'm pushing the limit. Do we have a doctor who can tell me? No. All right. Believe that's my time, you guys. I think I'm good.
Give it up one more time for Mr. Jose McCall. Good stuff, good stuff. He's talking about people marrying horses. That'd be a black woman's dream. You know how many weaves black women wear? Don't look at, this is my natural hair. I didn't buy this. This is me. Black women got theories like cats. Like, you put a black woman near some water, they just don't like that. Black women don't like water. All right. You ready for your next comedian? You sure? All right. We got another lady coming to the stage. She's also my sister. Y'all go ahead and give it up for Miss Megan Shahay.
Hi, thank you, everyone. How you guys doing tonight? Woo! Excellent. So I've been single for like 2 weeks now, and I've been on Tinder for officially, I don't have a watch, 48 hours. And are you guys familiar with what Tinder is? Okay, well, what it is, it's a dating app where you put pictures of yourself on there, and then you swipe left or swipe right. If you don't like someone, you swipe left, and if you like someone's picture, you swipe right. It's basically the most shallow form of meeting people you can possibly imagine. And so through this app, I've determined that I'm undateable. It's official, everyone. It's official. I imagine people seeing my picture and being like, hmm? And then as soon as I start talking, they're like, no, please. It's amazing how fast I can make that sound turn into that other sound. And I mean, here's the thing. My personality is probably the best form of birth control that I have right now. So that's fine. I recently got kicked off my parents' health insurance, not because I aged out, I just turned 21, but because my mom was being a real bitch and decided to retire. And thanks, Carol. Thanks for nothing. And so I have to get my own health insurance now. And I was shopping around for different forms of birth control, and I was thinking about getting an IUD, but that's a little expensive, and I'm scared of the procedure. And then I realized something. I realized that I have something way better than an IUD. I have an MAC. What you do, put your MacBook right over your Cabbage Patch, right over the baby maker. Watch like 9 hours of Reno 911 every day for like 10 to 15 years. Pretty soon you'll be barren as hell. You're welcome. That's called a DIY IUD. And there's a bonus to that one. Inch it up a couple of centimeters to your disappointing mosquito bites, and these time bombs are going to be going off anyway. All you're doing is expediting the process. Thanks God, Obama will pay for your tit enlargement. That's what I'm telling you. Thanks, Obama. Yes, our president. Thank you, sir. So I went through this breakup, and it was really rough. And I cried a lot, and I cried so much that I gave myself a sinus infection. Doing great, guys, doing great. And I got this idea for this supervillain. It's this woman. Yes, woman. She might make 70 cents for every dollar that a male villain will make with his villainy, but she's out there, she's doing it, she's breaking down stereotypes. But anyway, she cries so much she gives herself a sinus infection. Start to her villainy. I mean, I don't want to make it too much like myself. Hashtag narcissism. But so she goes to the doctor and gets antibiotics, and she doesn't take the whole dose because she's a naughty girl. And instead of hosting super germs, she becomes the super germ. And I drew a picture of her so far. I think that it's really great. Here it is. This is all that I've seen of women in comic books, so I'm pretty sure this is very accurate. I was in a relationship for a while. It was like 8 months, and it ended, which is fine, I guess. And I get it. I'm really hard to be in a relationship with. I'm secretive for no reason, and I have a lot of like weird issues, and I get Uptown Girl stuck in my head so easily, and I don't know all the words to it. So it's like, Uptown Girl, a sliced bread world. Can. Now she's looking for an uptown lad. Yeah, that's enough to get some Guantanamo Bay prisoners to elicit false confessions. So I'm no longer in a relationship. My boyfriend had this really annoying habit where he liked to discuss our dreams when we woke up in the morning. And his dreams were always like, Megan, I had this dream where you got kidnapped, and then there was a flood, and then I had to save you, and then I built a boat, and then I saved you. And I'm like, that's cool, dude. I just had a dream where I had not your penis in my mouth. I had a dream that I won a dessert pizza in a raffle, and then Don Rickles stole it from me, and he would only give it back to me if I sucked his dick. So then, you know. I sucked his dick. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but there is a goddamn war going out in this world between everybody else and street harassers. And no woman likes to get street harassed. Let's be honest. It's uncomfortable. It makes you feel objectified. And it just is like an awkward situation to be in. But I think we're going about the eradication of street harassment the wrong way. I think that women need to start street harassing men and making them uncomfortable so that they know how it feels. Reciprocity, people. So if it's okay with you, I am going to try out some street harasses on you good people. So here we go. Hey, Poppy, where you going so fast? How do these jeans make my ass look? Do they make my ass look fat? Do they? Do they make my ass look fat? Because I'm going to cry if you say that they do. Are you feeling uncomfortable? He said yes. Okay, here's the next one. Hey, why don't you scooch on over here so you can look at some pictures of my pussy cat? He's so cute. His name is Mr. Teeny, and he meows all the time, and he's super snuggly. All right, here's the last one. Hey, Poppy, why don't you come sit on Mama's lap so you can listen to me cry about how thin my sister is? All right, that's it for me. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for my sister, Miss Megan. Sis, Megan, I hooked you up. This is Josh. He think you sexy. Josh, Megan, Josh. Hey, white boy, won't you come up here so I can give you some of this chocolate chip cookie? Megan, get that. All right, go ahead. Josh, go ahead. Megan, Josh wants you. Megan, what you think he cute? You just gonna pass him off to our other sister? Well, Kira, Megan, Josh is available if you guys like him. The Cupid hookup, you're welcome. All right, you guys ready for your next comedian? I like it. The energy is still going. Also, the kitchen is closed. So if you got a bad hangover, Taco Bell is a few miles up that way. You can poop it out. All right, without further ado, I want y'all to start making some crazy noise for Mr. Kyle Birdman.
Jesus. What's up, Ari's Tavern? How you guys doing tonight? That's what I like to hear. I see some new faces out there tonight. So I'm probably a new face to you as well. And I know what you're thinking. And the answer is yes. My mom was gangbanged by Frank Zappa, Serge Tankian, and the evil guy from Wild Wild West. I had some cool dads, you guys. But my name's Kyle Bertman. I'm a transplant from Massachusetts. Is there any other transplants here? All right. You know, when I moved here to Denver, like a year and a half ago, right? So I haven't run out of weed since like a year and a half ago. It's been a good year and a half. You know, when I moved here, I thought to myself, there's going to be snow and mountains everywhere. It's going to be great, right? I get here, it's nothing but sunshine and homeless people. You know, they have a saying back my way. It's welcome to Boston. Go fuck yourself. I don't know if you knew it. You were saying out here as well. It's welcome to Denver. No, I don't have any change. You know, homeless jokes usually go over pretty well around here. You could say they're right up our alley. So when I moved here to Colorado, I made some pretty healthy changes in my day-to-day life, right? Like I started doing yoga, lots of it, love it. I don't have a car, so I ride my bike everywhere. Keeps me in shape, good stuff, right? And I even started eating healthier too. I'm a vegan now. I only eat weed. I actually used to be a vegan when I was younger, up until about 2nd grade, when I first picked my nose and ate it. If you guys didn't like that joke, don't worry, it's not that great. You guys like apples? Any apple people in the crowd? Come on, fucking apples, delicious. Any specific kind of apples? Me, myself, I'm a pink lady man. Wait. I'm a pink lady man. Okay, had to clarify that for a second. But a little bit more about me. I was raised half Christian, half Jewish. So I bought my entire family Christmas presents. I just refused to pay full price for any of them. Still have apple in my mouth. And growing up, I always wanted to be a mohel. Does anybody here know what a mohel is? A mohel is a Jewish man who performs circumcisions. I know. Weird thing to want to be when you grew up. But me, I did. I went to school for it and everything. But I had to drop out, you know. Wasn't working out. I just couldn't cut it. You guys know why it's a tradition for Jewish men to get circumcised? Because it's half off. So you guys know how Pluto is supposedly not a planet anymore? Right? You guys heard about this? Fucking bullshit, right? But can you imagine that awkward breakup with the rest of the solar system? Yeah, it's like, look, Pluto, it's not you, okay? Calm down, it's not you. It's us. Our feelings for you are strictly plutonic. And he's like, I didn't like Uranus anyways. Planet puns aren't just for the 3rd grade, you guys. But they are fun. You know what else is fun? Ancient civilization jokes. You guys ready for some Sumerian humor? Okay. Do you guys know that King Nimrod was quite a talker? He used to just babble on and on. Gotta love the slow clap. It's my other part. It's a good thing I brought my own snacks. You know, the kitchen's closed, so. You know, they never tell you all the nutrients is in the skin, right? Did you guys know oranges are named after the English word for the color orange? So I'm recently unemployed. Is anybody else here unemployed? Well, good for all of you. Well, I'm recently unemployed. You got some free time on my hands, right? To get in a little bit of trouble and just become more broke. Like I recently tried to pay my drunk driving fines with a DUIOU. Didn't work. You know, it's not that easy not breaking the rules. Even the Son of God used to break them. That's right. Jesus was a jaywalker. I mean, he took a crosswalk once. He wasn't a big fan. But so, you know, being unemployed, looking for some jobs around town, right? Like I recently inquired for a position at Rocky Mountain National Park. And I was like, what do I got to do to get this job? I really want it. What do I got to do? They said, take a hike. And being broke and unemployed, those are like gateway drugs to Netflix. Am I right? Been watching a lot of Netflix lately. Like the other day I was watching this movie with Tom Hanks. You know, the one where he gets AIDS from gay anal sex? The Terminal. Because he was terminally ill. Right? Okay. But, so yeah, been unemployed. Free time on my hands, as I already said. I've been looking up some weird shit in the internet, right? The other day I found myself Googling Hitler fun facts. Because you can never have too many of those, right? And I always remember being a little kid in the playground, all the other little kids telling me interesting Hitler facts. Like he was half Jewish. He was born on 420. He invented the Volkswagen Beetle. Like crazy random facts, right? I was like, there's got to be more of this Hitler guy. So I looked it up. And did you guys know Hitler used to have his own children's clothing line? It was called Oshkosh Bagoshwitz. It was a superior brand in children's clothing. So I met a really intelligent homeless person the other day, right? And he informed me what the longest word in the homeless English dictionary was. Shanty disestablishmentarianism. Oh, I'm so glad you guys just love that closer. Okay, I've been Kyle Berman. You guys have a good night.
Give it up one more time for Mr. Kyle Berman, a.k.a. Jesus. I had to do a double take. Didn't he kind of favor Jesus? I was, forgive me for my sins. Okay. All right, you guys ready for your next comedian? Come on, y'all can do it just a little bit better than that. There we go. All right, I want y'all to make some crazy noise for Mr. Byron Graham.
Keep it going for Shanae Ross, everybody. Keep it going for her, for all the comics you've seen tonight. More time for your Ari's Tavern bar staff, everybody. Order a bunch of drinks and tip them generously. I think men and women drink for different reasons when we hit the town, right? Men drink to summon up that liquid courage. You know, like, hey, maybe a couple shots of gin, I'll think of something charming to say to a lady. Women drink for another reason altogether. Women drink for liquid complacency. Women drink to be like, ugh, him, I guess. Letting this loser writhe on top of me is better than another night alone. And I salute you for it, ladies. Hoping to benefit from that very system. Oh, that makes me sound like a creep. I don't like it. You guys, the bathrooms in here are called the foxhole and the manhole. Right? That suggests, it's like, either way, it's going to be fucking warfare. Get in there. Get in there. You guys, this week, this has happened to me this week. I put out a fire, you guys. I saved a lady and a house and an apartment complex probably from a fire. I'm at a lady's house. I get up to go to the bathroom. I come back in and notice that the candles burning on the bedside table are burning quite a bit more vigorously and that a pillowcase has drooped onto the open flame, mere inches away from her outstretched tresses of hair, right? So instead of like freaking out, I grab the pillow, I throw it to the ground, and I stomp out the flames with my bare feet. And I do this naked and with a boner, you guys. An erect act of heroism. Who else has experienced that? Right? I like to think of like famous acts of heroism from history, from erect men, like George Washington crossing the Delaware, rigid as the flagpole he would one day serve under. It's a good FDR, right? His legs didn't work. His boner never stopped working. It's a 3-term boner. You guys don't like presidential dicks. I get it. Some of us are patriots. Some of us are a little gun shy about the presidential dick jokes. Salute. All right. I'm going to give up on that one. You guys, I'm not a jealous guy. I'm going to say that right. I'm not a jealous or possessive guy in relationships. I'm definitely not one to judge a woman for her past prior to us meeting, right? Like, I don't care if a woman has had a few stallions through her stables prior to my coming along. If you get the metaphor, right? I get it. Ladies, stallion riding gentlemen. Stallion is a majestic creature. Who doesn't want to ride a stallion for a while? Right? Take a sturdy gallop down a moonlit beach. Feel the wind in your hair again. I would never want to take that experience away. But you can't keep a stallion, can you, ladies? They don't want to stay in your corrals. They want to run the open prairie. This is precisely where I come along. In this man-animal ranking system, I weigh in somewhere around the humble donkey. Just a humble burro you can weigh down with all of your baggage. Your daddy issues. Fear of dying alone. Roll them up into a bindle, hoist it onto my back. I've got that shit for our entire journey together. I may need to take more water breaks than a stallion might, sure. But I'll get you to that mountaintop, ladies. Mountaintop is an orgasm reference. It's not a Martin Luther King Jr. reference. Aside from being like an equal opportunity dick, it never did anything for civil rights. Not a thing. But it did have a dream. It did have a dream. One shining morning in the Capitol. Look how short I can make this thing. You guys, I'm glad football season is over. I'm not much of a footballman. I was recently asked to join a fantasy football league, and I agreed because I had a misconception about what fantasy football meant. I thought fantasy football, you mean like football with dragons, wizards, and magic? That's exactly the sort of game I want to watch. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine the spectacle? Like a football man catches the ball. He's running down the field. Poof, he disappears in a puff of smoke. And then a newt comes wriggling out of his empty helmet. And the Chiefs get disqualified for invoking the dark arts. That's the kind of game I want to watch. You tell me that if the Pittsburgh Steelers, let's say the Steelers, were to replace their entire starting lineup with orcs, wouldn't make for a better league? At least orcs know how to treat a lady. Am I right? Oh, unlike those monsters in the black and yellow. That's all I'm saying. Please, no one give me a wedgie for that joke, please. No wedgies, no swirlies, no nerd punishments of any kind. I went on the road and I realized I became like an unwitting Broncos ambassador because like they're America's team now. Everybody loves them, except especially since what's his forehead became quarterback. Everybody loves that guy. I'm just kidding, everybody. I know what his name is. I'm an American. Know what his name is. It's Secretariat. Am I right? Oh, because he's a very equine man, that's what I'm saying. Real true-born Bronco. We're just horsing around up here, you guys. Just a little bit of horseplay. Have you ever depressed yourself awake in the morning? Like, is the first thought you have is just like, you greet the day, you're just like, oh, God, I've got to go through the day being me. Whew. I remember exactly how much money is in my checking account one of those mornings. And you find out, nope, cleaned out by the Netflix subscription you forgot was due. Oh, man. They don't remind you that it's going to charge you every month. Overdraft fees, my classic nemesis, rear its head every month. It's worse to wake up like that if you have really lively dreams at night. I have wonderful dreams that I can escape into. I had a dream the other night that I owned and operated a Pegasus farm. Are you kidding me? Got to watch baby Pegasus grow up before my very dream eyes. Gently kneel down, tussle their shimmering manes, feed them sparkle dust out of my open palm, because that's what a baby Pegasus eats, everyone, sparkle dust. Watch them take wing for the first time, soar into a candy-colored sky, feel a swell of pride like a father might feel. And I have to wake up and remember I am ineligible to donate plasma in the state of Colorado. Oh, man. To go from Pegasus farmer to someone whose blood isn't worth money is as rude as awakenings get. Don't worry, anybody. It's not for anything gross. Not for anything gross. I know what you're thinking. Lots of scores, no sores. That's my story. Couple of scares, no flares. Those are the rhymes you want your dick to have. Talked about dicks a lot. I get it, everybody. It's a patriarchal set. I think that you shouldn't say retard, everyone. I'm going to make a statement right now. I'm going to make a stand. Don't say retard. That's not a nice thing to say. People with disabilities, their lives are hard enough without being lumped into your lazy insults. You know what I mean? Why not say dullard instead? Right? Dullard is a great word. If you call someone a dullard, you're a persnickety old schoolmarm just giving a young ne'er-do-well the what for. It's the best. They probably have to look up what it means, because let's face it, they're fucking dullards. Oh, man. I'm going to close on this one, you guys. 420 is coming up. 420. I'm into weed, you guys. I know I dress like a 1920s barbershop quartet. But no, I'm super into the reefer sticks, into that jazz cigarette. I'm into it. I have a medical marijuana card, you guys, in fact. I do have a medical marijuana card. It's for, hey. Mine's for a pretty serious condition. It's for my chronic, debilitating boredom. I have one. Like to enjoy a sunset or two. But that 420 holiday coming up where thousands of stoners, they all gather in Civic Center Park. It's real convivial and peaceful, right? There's informational booths, voter registration, children running around. It's a lovely time. And weed is the only kind of drug that could foster that environment. If thousands of meth tweakers gathered in a public square, that's not a holiday anymore. It's a humanitarian crisis. You'd have to call in FEMA for the skin spider epidemic. All right, you guys, I've been Byron. Dig those skin spiders out from under your skin. Give it up for Shanae Ross.
Give it up one more time for Mr. Byron Graham, a.k.a. Stallion. All right, we got one more comic. Can y'all hang with me? All right. It is my great pleasure to bring this next gentleman on to the stage. Give it up for Mr. Chuck Roy.
Thank you, Shanae. I appreciate it. Didn't she do a great job hosting? Give her a nice round of applause. I thought it was entertaining. I was hoping she'd introduce me as her brother. Why not sister? I can be a sister. I'm a bit of a bitch tonight. I can sister up if you want me to. My panties are a little bit in a bunch. No, they're not. Today was gorgeous. Wasn't that a beautiful day? Anybody enjoyed it? I enjoyed that day. It was beautiful. Maybe you did. I went for a bike ride. Anybody here ever bike ride so bad you think the cops are gonna pull you over? That was me today. I was terrible at bicycle riding, and I realized there's a cop behind me, and I'm in the wrong lane, and I'm in a construction zone. I've really fucked up, and I think maybe I'm about to get pulled over by a cop. So I got a signal, a right turn, right, and then I'm like, all right, you're right. I'll put the beer down, and they get lippy, those cops. I went to work this morning. I teach at the Community College of Denver. That you don't have to like it. It's a community college where spelling cunts. I figure you're a Friday night crowd. I wanted to say that one. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you could rate each one of the jokes, that'll help me. I got to get ready for tomorrow. There's a big party tomorrow. I've launched a new app, everybody, and we got a big party at the Oriental Theater tomorrow. I'm pretty smart. I found a way to invent an app. It mixes websites like Uber, little apps like Uber, with other apps like Tinder and Grindr. We'll call it Luber. You can find someone to hook up with within an affordable travel distance. We got to name your tool price tool. That's a good one. You take your time and debate them. I'll take my time getting the next one. Anybody doing ice skating today? No, I'm not a good ice skater. My brother called me today, and he said he was giggling. He thought about us when we were kids. We'd go ice skating, and he figured it out. Like, he's a bit of a dick. 'Cause he's older than me, and he used that influence on me. Is always, Charlie, go check the ice, And he's apologizing for it, going, I'm sorry, I always made you go check the ice. And I was like, I'm sorry, I just always thought you were a genius, Send the fattest one out there. That's how you check the ice. There you go, Tubby. We want to see if this is skatable or not. That's the ultimate you break it, you bought it rule. Thank you for agreeing with me on that one. It's cute how you react to the jokes. A lot of you choose to laugh, but some of you are like, I'm going to verbalize this one. I find that adorable. Now's a pretty good time to go pee, by the way. I'm just going to do a few more jokes, but if you're like, is there a good time during his set to go pee? Now would be it, So I'm going to do a few more, and I think you'll be able to make it and come back. Now's a bad time for me to go pee. Let's admit that, right? Unless, if I'm doing a Jim Morrison impression or maybe an R. Kelly song. Oh. Right? Isn't he the one who peed on the girl? Sorry. I did a show last night. They showed wrestling before the show. That was the big hook. Didn't seem to impress you. Didn't really impress me. I'm not into wrestling. I like it in bed. Right? Wrestling in bed, that's fun. But, thank you, miss. I appreciate that, sir. That's a keeper, by the way. That's a good one. Any girl who looks at you and says, we go till we pin. Right? You got to pin to win, right? Is that how you get out of blowjobs? Right? She just said, how's he know? She puts him down, shoulder blades down, and bam, 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 no blowjob. I love that. I think I'm going to take that move. What's that, miss? That was me in the corner? Nobody puts Bear in the corner. I get you that you're his top, but there's no way you could be mine. We might wrestle, but you're going to have to bottom, little girl. This set is getting sexy. I can see the people at home beating off. Seen you do that before. Good to see you. Thanks for watching on Skype. All right. It's inappropriate. You're adorable, miss. And now I'm Randy. Now you made me. I'm gonna have to look for my notes, miss. I didn't want to do that. I told you it was a good time to go pee, right? That's important. Did I tell you I can't pee? Like if you come up next to me and we're at that's not gonna happen. Like if you come up next to me while it's pee time for me, then I've got like an auto shut off dick. It's over. It's like the invisible finger of peaconomics. Folks, Thank you, folks. I was done at Peaconomics, right? It's a pedestrian economics P joke, right? Got a good giggle out of you though, sir, and I appreciate that, man. I'm not dropping it from the set. None of you seem to side with me. Sometimes people say, I get you, Bear. That's like me. I lock up. All of y'all, I assume, just don't lock up. Is that your men of confidence? You'll back me? I appreciate that. I didn't need it. It's Ari's. I could fucking fight you all. I got my bottom on my side. And her little Nancy boy probably gonna do something. All right, it wasn't funny. I remember when it happened is we went to Pease Air Force Base, of all things. That's in New Hampshire, where I was raised. My dad served in the Air Force and used his little credentials to take us to the Air Force for a big air show. And it was a big deal. And we got a porta potty and put it in the back of the van. A little porta potty for the back of the van. My mom even sewed curtains, adorable little curtains. I was 7 years old. If you don't know 7 years old, I was hell-bent on using that fucking porta potty. It was in my brain all friggin' day. They told us right away, you're not using the porta potty. And if you tell the 7-year-old you're not doing something, the 7-year-old all day goes, when can I do that? So my dad, we get to the Air Force Base, and I immediately go, I gotta pee. And my dad goes, why don't you go use their thing? They got, those little porta potties that are rented, and line was too long. So there was a little house conference, and I think my mom passed some legislation that said I could use the little pisser in the van. And so I got to use the little pisser in the van. My whole family waited outside. I got in there. I dropped my little shorts, and I pulled my little guy out, and I began to go. And if you don't get what I guess I was doing wrong, I was 7. I didn't know I was doing anything wrong. But my dad opened the van up, and then he goes, don't piss in there, standing up, you're gonna piss all over the carpet! If you're a 7-year-old standing there, when your dad yells at you, you immediately turn, and I pissed all over the carpet, and you know what I wanted to say? What I wanted to say? This next joke is real funny, it won't come out. Thanks, sir. I appreciate. Some people are waiting for the joke, and it was done. I might piss it out later. Quit waiting for it. We would play guns as a kid. That was my favorite game. We fought World War II. That was our war of choice. It was determined we couldn't fight in Vietnam. It's weird when I yell Charlie. I've told that joke here once before, and I think some of you are mad at me for telling it here twice again. Okay. I always appreciate your opinion, Ari's. Big party tomorrow night. Luber launch at the Oriental. The best gift my aunt ever gave me, my cousin, I had the Iwo Jima battle set. I think that thing was phenomenal. It's the last racist toy I ever remember. It had yellow soldiers for the Japanese guys. Yeah, you can't do that anymore. We used to fight the Japs, and you can't fight them anymore. The best toy we ever got was something called Domino Setup. If it doesn't sound familiar to you, it's because it wasn't a brand name toy, and that's why I was mad at it. I was a suburban little boy, and my aunt and uncle came from upstate Vermont, which I don't know if you know how poor that is compared to New Hampshire, but it is not brand name Toyland. And little suburban New Hampshire is brand name Toyland. And I'm a dick in this story, by the way. My aunt is a hardworking lady who, runs a nice family and provides toys for all of her nieces. And I don't know if you have nieces, but are any of them worth a good fucking toy? None of them. I don't write thank you notes. My sister's the one who writes thank you notes. She deserves good fucking toys. I'm a little piece of shit. So, in the end of the story, you go, all right, Aunt, good job for giving that little shit a bad toy. And it wasn't a bad toy. It was just not a popular brand name. It was called Domino Setup, and when looking back in life, it's probably the greatest thing a woman like my aunt could give my parents. It was, you set up dominoes all over the floor and anywhere in the house, and then you would set them up. We'd do it all afternoon, and it was like a thing we did way back in the 80s. They would watch soap operas, and they would set up dominoes. And the domino thing was like, it was me and my brother, and this is all we would do all afternoon, is try to set up things like, we had a staircase, so you'd want to have the dominoes come up from the top of the staircase and then hit a domino, and then it would follow a little wire. It would be hanging on a paper clip, and it would go all the way down the stairs, and it would hit the next domino, and then that would set up a whole, like, maybe we'd do a little pyramid, and then we had an elevator, and then we'd try to get it to launch a paper airplane, whatever we could come up with. And my parents, all they had to do was let us stay down in the basement and set those up for about 6, 8 hours, and then come watch a 4-second dominoes fall down show. You're a crowd of parents, and a lot of you have probably already seen the genius in what my aunt did. Essentially, she gave the parents of 2 boys a gift that makes little boys go, shh, shh, don't move. For 8 hours. That's how that joke ends. That's how that joke ends. I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent. Some people are parents, and I appreciate that. If you got to pay for a babysitter for being here tonight, that's tough, and I appreciate that. Some people gonna pay to not have a babysitter tonight. That's plan B. And I appreciate that expense as well. I believe we bear both costs. All right, sorry, I want to work out. I know I brought up soap operas about 19 times. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. Young people, soap operas, something that happened in the 80s. It was like Netflix, but only once a day for like just 1 hour. Then you turned it off and went and did something else. All right. That joke is for my dad who's watching at home. He's like, "You're right, you tell them to get outside." I love my dad. Yeah, that's my dad. If we were inside, that was the wrong answer. My dad is a farmer. He just did not believe in children on a couch. He's like, "Why don't you go out there and milk something?" We're like, "We live in the suburbs." And he'd be like, "Cut the grass again." We cut it this morning. Is the sun out? It's growing. Right? That's my dad. He's genius. Yeah. All right. I should wrap up. You've been here a long time. Some of you have babysitters. I know my job tonight is to put on a show good enough for somebody to get a blowjob. Me, generally. I got to admit, for years of my career, I was that selfish. I was like, I'm going to put on a set so good, I get a blowjob. And I'm learning as a professional. Now, I think my job is to put on a show so good, you get a blowjob. It's going to be hard. I'm looking around. It doesn't look like, a 50-50 split on who wants one and who's giving one. But I'm going to try to get you laughing enough on my way out. I'm gonna wrap up. I'm getting rid of a piece of furniture tomorrow. That's exciting. I'm done with my coffee table. My coffee table is a conversion coffee table. It's the ultimate straight guy converter. It's led to many a straight guy getting buried at my house. So this joke might get too gay for some of you. Tough luck, Ari's Tavern. You've seen a lot of other people here goes. Just a simple coffee table, but what happens is it pops up from being a coffee table. The lid pops up and becomes a lunch table. It's pretty fun. And underneath there is a little pocket where I keep my pot. And that's if I'm having drinks at a late hour with the straight fella, and we decide we're going to smoke something, and we're already on the love seat. You know, I lift up the lid to go get the pot, and then he goes, "Oh, I want to try that," which quickly becomes the motto for the evening. Good night.
Give it up one more time for Mr. Chuck Roy. That concludes our comedy show. Feel free to follow all the comics that you saw tonight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tinder, Black People's Meet, White People Meet, whatever. Feel free to follow them on any social media. We gon' turn up and party. We got DJ. What'd you say? Mood Man is in the house tonight, so we gonna be twerking for free. Don't forget that we have this wonderful real estate agent in the house tonight. If you got questions about wanting to purchase a home, sell a home, feel free to reach out to her. Thank you, Ari's Tavern, for allowing us to have this comedy showcase. Mr. Eugene, thank you again, sir, for allowing us to be here. Y'all keep drinking up. Make sure y'all tip your waitstaff and practice safe sex. Not tonight, and that's it.
I'm leaving on that one.